As test pilot, Jason Clements was making sure that every setting on his F-16 Fighting Falcon was correct before taking off. He made an unusual move. Instead of putting on his seatbelt and preparing to fly, he suddenly stepped off the aircraft and left a GoPro camera mounted in front of his seat. However, this was no ordinary Falcon. Clements was actually launching a QF-16, one of Boeing and the Air Force's latest attempts at unmanned remote-piloted aircraft, and sought to capture the flight on camera. As the Fighting Falcon lifted off from Tyndall Air Force Base and into the skies, 2 other guard aircraft followed its every move. The QF-16 made its maiden unmanned flight in 2013, opening the door for future unmanned aerial targets for practice, but also, possibly, as the beginning of a new era in drones used as a war weapon. A superb jet fighter. The Lockheed Martin F-16 Fighting Falcon is considered one of the most prolific fighter aircraft in the world. Originally designed as an air superiority day fighter, the Fighting Falcon evolved into a successful all-weather multi-role aircraft, completing over 13 million sorties and almost 20 million flight hours. The fighter was first introduced in 1978 and has over 3,000 models currently in operational service worldwide. The original Fighting Falcon was one of the first aircraft to be fitted with an onboard computer to help the pilot. Today, it is essentially impossible to find a modern fighter jet without any kind of computer assistance. Still, the US Air Force and Boeing have joined forces to take the concept of onboard computers even further by attempting to replace the pilot altogether. Fighting Falcon drones. The QF-16 Full-Scale Aerial Target, or FSAT program, has been converting old Fighting Falcons into unmanned drones as far back as 2010. These modified F-16s are used in weapon system evaluation programs to assess, upgrade, or replace current air-to-air missiles while offering live missile training for combat air crews. During a given training exercise, the test missile launched at a target obtains the coordinates from a ground control station. In turn, the QF-16's computer software validates the data engagement and sends what it considers relevant, such as the distance and speed of the missile, to the ground station, which then determines the mission's success. Capable of operating in both manned and unmanned modes, the supersonic and reusable drone is equipped with state-of-the-art flight termination and visual augmentation systems in order to realistically replicate modern threats like the Russian Mikoyan MiG-29 or Sukhoi Su-27 fighters. Not having a person inside the cockpit opens the door to significant exploration opportunities for the developers, including the chance to test out radical-looking planes or even a lower price point, as these models don't have any of the standard safety systems required to keep a pilot safe. Timeline. The QF-16 replaces the aging QF-4 remotely piloted aerial target, itself a modification of the Vietnam-era F-4 Phantom. According to developers, this newly developed model acts as a fourth-generation airborne target with adjustable settings to replicate all kinds of threats. The first mention of the project happened in July of 2007 during Industry Day, an event hosted by the Air Force's Air Armament Center for interested vendors. By March of 2010, the Department of Defense awarded Boeing the nearly $70 million multi-year contract for the initial engineering, manufacturing, and development of up to 126 QF-16s, with an initial delivery scheduled for 2014. After the first F-16 selected to be converted into an aerial target arrived from a boneyard in April of 2010, the engineers began a lengthy repair and upgrade process. The prototype QF-16 undertook its maiden flight in May of 2012. Then, 6 months later, the first finished model was sent over to the 82nd Aerial Target Squadron at the Tyndall Air Force Base to begin a series of tests. A fighter without a pilot. Although F-16 Fighting Falcon jets are usually spotted flying over the Tyndall Air Force Base in Panama City, Florida, something was different on September 19, 2013. For the first time ever, an F-16 took to the skies without a pilot. After Jason Clements performed all the standard pre-flight checks, he climbed out of the cockpit, locked the canopy from the outside, and left a GoPro camera inside to record the occurrence. Control was then turned over to 2 United States Air Force test pilots from the 82nd Aerial Target Squadron, both of whom sat in a control room on the opposite side of the base. After taking off at 3 p.m., the test pilots remotely flew the QF-16 for an hour, including taking off, performing several maneuvers, and pushing for supersonic speeds before returning to base. One of the simulated maneuvers included a barrel roll and a split S, a difficult move in which the QF-16 turned upside down before making a half loop to fly up in the opposite direction, a move commonly used in combat to evade missile lock-on. The aerial target aircraft was followed by 2 chase planes at all times. The accompanying jets contained equipment that would have allowed it to self-destruct in case of an emergency. Incidentally, the jet that was selected for the full-scale aerial target program had sat in an Arizona boneyard for almost 2 decades, but this day it conducted a successful unmanned flight, reaching a maximum altitude of 40,000 feet and a supersonic speed of Mach 1.47. According to Boeing engineers, the QF-16 succeeded at 7 g of acceleration and was capable of carrying out maneuvers at 9 g, an amount that would otherwise cause physical harm to a human pilot. Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Inman, commander of the 82nd Aerial Target Squadron, commented on the test flight and stated that, quote, "It was a little different to see an F-16 take off without anyone in it, but it was a great flight all the way around. Now we have a mission-capable, highly sustainable, full-scale aerial target to take us into the future." Both the Boeing developers and the Air Force commanders praised the test's performance, with the project's chief engineer describing the landing as one of the most perfect he'd ever seen in his life. The milestone flight, which was caught on camera from the point of view of the non-existent human pilot, officially initiated a series of operational evaluations of the full-scale aerial target, including a live fire test at Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico. However, the first QF-16 was shot down during a Combat Archer Weapon System Evaluation Program exercise on July 19, 2017. And in 2020, 32 of the autonomous aircraft were used as targets in a long series of practice tests over the Gulf of Mexico, a rather unsentimental ending to one of the most well-known and celebrated fighters in United States history. Drones in war. Despite the project's success, several ethical questions surfaced regarding the use that these vehicles could be given, particularly if the autonomous drones are taken into warfare and equipped with weapons that can fire without physical human intervention. According to a spokesman for the Campaign to Stop Killer Robots, an organization that seeks to preemptively ban lethal autonomous weapons, quote, "There's every reason to believe that these so-called targets could become a testbed for drone warfare." Boeing is still on contract with the Air Force and is committed to delivering up to 121 converted airframes, separated into 5 construction lots. In the near future, the data recovered from these self-flying fighter jets could transform aerial combat in missions like flying decoy routes to distract them from a manned aircraft operating in stealth mode. According to Michelle Hafers, director of the Testing and Training Division at Eglin Air Force Base, the QF-16 full-scale aerial targets are capable of representing actual scenarios of what America might face on the battlefield. Quote, "We don't know exactly how our weapons are going to work until we actually put it up against a bad guy, so we make these planes the bad guy. They make really good bad guys." Thank you for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, please give us a like. Also, let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified of all our newest content.